Alabama cornerback Terrion Arnold is my third-ranked corner in the 2024 draft class, 22nd ranked player overall. He's been getting some top 15, top 10 buzz recently. Daniel Jeremiah and Dane Brugler both had him going 12 in their most recent mock drafts. And heading into the year, Kool-Aid McKinstry was the Alabama cornerback that was on every draft analyst's radar, but he was also on the radar of opposing teams, and they made the collective decision to target whoever the other cornerback was. And Terrion Arnold rose to the challenge, 13 pass breakups, 5 interceptions in 2023. And based on his tape from this past year, I absolutely expect him to be the first Alabama corner that's drafted. He played a lot of press coverage at Alabama. He's really disruptive and aggressive at the line of scrimmage. He's comfortable mixing up his technique, giving quick jabs without overcommitting, and being kind of a shorter player, that does give him a leverage advantage getting his hands into the receiver's frame. I'm interested to see what his arm length is. He does occasionally miss with his hands at the line of scrimmage, and it seems like he needs kind of a tight pre-snap alignment to land his punch consistently. When he's giving maybe an extra yard of cushion and the receiver releases inside, he doesn't have the length of someone like Joey Porter Jr. to just reach out that inside hand and still establish contact. There were a few times where he would kind of overcommit and cross his feet against fake outside releases. So if the receiver's doing a diamond release where they take a couple steps outside and then break over the middle, he would lean his weight too far to the outside and cross his feet, which kind of takes away his ability to recover to the inside. But overall, I think he's one of the best press corners in this class. Definitely a good fit for a press man heavy scheme. He also does a good job defending fade routes, staying on top of the receiver, holding his ground, working back to the football. According to Sports Info Solutions, he covered 16 fade routes this year. He was targeted 5 times and allowed 0 completions. And then he's so fluid, changing directions in man coverage. He does a good job using his hands to feel out and anticipate the route break, but he also has the short area movement skills to just stay glued to the hip pocket. You see a similar kind of trait when he's accelerating out of a speed turn. His interception against Kentucky was one of the best interceptions that I've watched this year, but he just got those fluid hips to get his body turned around and then accelerate out of that turn and play the ball. Like a lot of college corners, he is overly grabby in man coverage, and he's going to need to clean that up to limit penalties in the NFL. And he does rely on his hand usage to stick with certain routes. Against curls and comebacks especially, if the receiver's able to swipe down that outside hand, he will allow separation, but I think he has the movement skills to sink his hips and cover those routes. He's just got to become more reliant on his footwork. But I don't really want Terrion Arnold in off coverage. I think he'll run a good 40 time, but he really struggles to turn his hips and accelerate when he's giving the receiver cushion. He didn't play a whole lot off the line of scrimmage at Alabama, but when he did, the results were not very good. A lot of the big plays he gave up this year were go routes or double moves against off coverage, and he also doesn't have the best route anticipation or acceleration on underneath stuff, just a second or two of delay reacting to the route and breaking on it. And I think overall with Terrion Arnold, he's just kind of rough around the edges and not the most disciplined corner. He gave up a few receptions, not playing with proper depth against high-low concepts to the sideline. And if you do a switch release or a rub route, especially out of a bunch formation, he gets caught up in the traffic pretty easily. So just stability in zone coverage and some concerns about him in off. That's why I'm not fully bought into the top 15 hype, but he was the best run defending corner in college football, at least that I've watched. He had the highest PFF run defense grade in FBS. He's a violent block shedder. He attacks the blocker's frame, disengages quickly. He's very assignment secure and knows when he can take his chances. He can quickly dip underneath or slide around a block, but he doesn't really ever get himself out of position or lose contain. And for the most part, he's a pretty secure tackler. He had 8 misses on the season, but he's a heat-seeking missile flying into the backfield, so those missed tackles are going to come with a player like Terrion Arnold. And he only rushed the passer 11 times last year, but he had 4 pressures and 1 sack. The Arkansas game, you really saw flashes of what he could do as a blitzer. So I think Terrion Arnold could definitely play on the outside, but I project him as a slot corner just because of what he adds to your run defense. In today's NFL, slot is arguably just as important as outside corner, so I don't view that as a knock if someone moves inside. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy the video, make sure to like and subscribe. If you want to see my entire draft board as a filterable interactive table, I've got that up at A2Zsports.com. The link to that is in the description, and let me know in the comments any other NFL draft prospects that you'd like me to cover.